You finish another Friday at work and start walking home. It's been a long week, and all you want now is to get home and finally relax. The streets are getting quieter as everyone heads home. For them, it's just another Friday. But your evening is about to change completely. You quickly check your bank balance, sigh, lock your phone, and decide you're done thinking about money for today. Just a few steps later, something black lying on the sidewalk catches your attention. You slow down without even realizing it. At first you keep walking. It's not your problem. Someone else will probably pick it up in a minute. But something makes you stop. You turn around, walk back, and decide to see what you almost ignored. You pick it up. No wallet, no cash, no identification. Just a single credit card lying completely alone. You look at both sides, hoping to find a name or a phone number. But there isn't one. The only thing printed on the back is the bank's customer service number. Nothing that tells you who owns it. You slide the card into your pocket and continue home, planning to call the bank as soon as you get inside. A few minutes later, you finally get home. You throw your keys onto the table, take off your jacket, and immediately pull the card back out of your pocket. You place the card on your desk and look at it again. Maybe the owner is already searching everywhere, hoping someone honest picked it up. You open your laptop and search for the bank. If you can report the card, maybe they can contact whoever lost it. You find the customer service number, take your phone, and make the call without thinking twice. The phone keeps ringing. Once, twice, 3 times. But eventually the call disconnects without anyone answering. You try again a minute later. Maybe they were busy. Maybe this time someone will finally answer. Nothing. Just silence. You slowly put the phone down and stare at the card without saying a single word. Your eyes slowly wander across the room. The same old furniture. The same unfinished repairs. Nothing has really changed in years. You look toward the window. Outside, your old gray car is still parked exactly where it always is, getting older with every passing year. Then you look back at the card on your desk, and for the very first time, a dangerous question quietly appears in your mind. What if nobody ever calls back? What if the owner already canceled it? Or maybe they don't even know it's missing yet. You immediately shake your head. No, that's not why you picked it up. You were only trying to help someone. You reach for the card, ready to throw it into the trash and forget this strange evening ever happened. But your hand stops. You look at the card one more time, and slowly place it back on the desk instead. You stand up and walk toward the window. Outside, your old gray car is sitting under the streetlight exactly where you left it this morning. You've dreamed about replacing that car for years. Every month something else needed your money first. You slowly turn around, and your eyes land on the card again. It hasn't moved. But somehow it feels completely different now. You wonder what would happen if you used it just once, not for something expensive, just to see whether it even works. One small purchase, that's all. You could return the money later, and nobody would ever know it happened. That single thought stays in your head, growing louder every second, and without realizing it, your imagination takes over. The next morning, you wake up still thinking about that card. You tell yourself you'll only do one small test. Just enough to know whether it actually works. On your way to work, you stop at a small coffee shop. Nothing expensive, just a coffee. If the payment fails, you'll simply use your own card instead. Your heart starts beating faster as you hand the card to the cashier. Suddenly, this doesn't feel like a harmless idea anymore. The terminal processes the payment for a few long seconds. Then a green approval message appears on the screen. For a moment, you simply stand there. No alarms, no questions. No one even looks at you twice. Walking back outside, you can't stop replaying those few seconds in your mind. It actually worked, and that's exactly what scares you. The entire day, you try to focus on work, but every few minutes, your thoughts return to the same question. If one payment worked, would a second one work too? The idea is getting harder and harder to ignore. By the time you leave the office that evening, you've already convinced yourself that one small purchase couldn't possibly hurt anyone. Without realizing it, you've already stopped thinking about returning the card. Now you're only thinking about what to buy next. That evening, you tell yourself one more purchase won't change anything. After all, it's still less money than most people spend on a normal weekend. You walk into an electronics store just to look around. You don't actually need anything. At least that's what you keep telling yourself. A few minutes later, you're standing at the checkout with a brand new laptop. Your heart races as the cashier reaches for the payment terminal. Approved. Again. Nobody stops you. Nobody asks any questions. You simply walk out carrying something you could never normally afford. the fear slowly fades away. Every successful payment makes the card feel less like someone else's and more like your own. Over the next few days, buying things becomes surprisingly easy. New clothes, expensive shoes, a better phone. It all starts feeling completely normal. For the first time in years, you're buying what you want instead of what you can afford. It almost feels like a completely different life. You catch yourself smiling for no reason. Maybe this is what being financially free actually feels like. Then another thought appears. If the card can buy all of this, maybe it can buy something much bigger. That's the moment when this stops being about curiosity and starts becoming pure greed. A few days later, you're standing inside a luxury car dealership. Just a week ago you could barely afford groceries. Now you're choosing between sports cars. For the first time in your life, you don't even ask how much it costs. You already know you're not planning to pay for it yourself. Minutes later, another payment goes through. The employee hands you the keys with a smile and wishes you a safe drive home. Driving through the city feels completely different now. Every traffic light, every building, every person suddenly looks smaller than before. A few weeks pass, and even the car isn't enough anymore. You begin looking at houses you never imagined you could own. You visit one after another, until you find the perfect place. 2 floors, a swimming pool, and more space than you've ever had. Another payment, another smile, and somehow, this incredible life keeps getting even better. You move in almost immediately. Every morning feels like waking up inside someone else's dream. You begin believing you've actually beaten life, like you found a secret that everyone else somehow missed. Then, your phone suddenly begins to ring. A known number, and for the first time in weeks, you feel afraid. You stare at the screen for a few seconds, then reject the call. If it's important, they'll leave a message. At least, that's what you tell yourself. 10 seconds later, the phone rings again. The same number. This time, your hands don't feel as steady as they did a minute ago. You silence the phone and slip it into your pocket. Suddenly the house doesn't feel peaceful anymore. It feels strangely quiet. That night, sleep never comes. Every sound outside makes you think someone finally knows exactly what you've done. The next morning, you check your phone. 3 missed calls, all from the same unknown number. You open the news while drinking your coffee, and one headline instantly catches your attention. A lost credit card has been used multiple times before being reported stolen. Your heart sinks the moment you finish reading. You rush to the window, and at that exact moment, a police car slowly drives past your house. It doesn't stop. It doesn't even slow down. But you can't stop watching until it disappears at the end of the street. For the first time since finding that card, you realize something terrifying. None of this ever felt as free as you wanted to believe. Your hands begin to shake. Without thinking, you grab the card and rush toward the front door. You need to get rid of it, right now. You throw the card into a trash bin outside and quickly walk away without looking back. Maybe if it's gone, all of this disappears with it. As you walk back toward the house, you suddenly hear someone knocking loudly on the front door. Your heart nearly stops. You slowly reach for the handle and prepare yourself for the worst. Then everything suddenly goes dark. Sitting exactly where you were before. The small apartment, the old desk, the card still lying quietly in front of you. None of it happened. Not the sports car, not the mansion, not the swimming pool. It all lasted only a few seconds. Inside your imagination, you take a deep breath, pick up your phone, and finally make the one call you should have made from the very beginning. Sometimes the biggest mistake isn't stealing money. It's convincing yourself that stealing it is somehow justified. Because the hardest choices in life are rarely about money. They're about the person you decide to become when nobody is watching.